Here we go. I'm gonna just put this up on the thing just because anytime we have something like this, I want to have everyone know what we're talking about. So Denichin says, not trolling. Did anyone in religious world use a chat GPT like to learn anything about the Bible? Give precise answers as if it's answered by a cleric. There's certainly people who are curious what sort of answers AI will give. And there was actually, some months ago now, when this was kind of new news, there was a church service conducted by an AI in Europe. I forget where exactly. Oh yeah, he got anti-air there. And so basically they're just like, you know, let it have free reign on what it wants to say and see what it says. And some 300 people attended, and they walked away saying, you know, hey, this was, you know, it was nice. The problem was it was completely empty and devoid of any actual religious, spiritual, biblical truth. But church people were fine with it because most church people don't actually know what it is that they claim to believe. So yes, there are plenty of people, even people who are religious, who are looking for quick answers, that sort of thing. ChatGPT and others, they're very advanced. It's scary how advanced they are, but they are still limited by use of the language learning model is still using like what's prevalent on the internet. So it's going to use basically a popularity contest on things as opposed to if we were to democratically just vote on everything in the Bible, you're definitely not going to have what the Bible says today. It's not. There's a lot of things in the Bible that's not popular. My position is that doesn't matter. It's still true. ChatGPT and things like that. It's going to come up with the popular view, if that makes sense. And that's a layman's explanation, because I am a layman when it comes to AI. I am not an expert. Long story short, I have a pretty low view of using AI in any capacity for church, for a service, for anything like that. Geldar, AI is evil. It'll take over and judgment day will come. Sarah Connor said so. I have heard the same. I've heard that too.
I don't know. I think the future's not set. I think the future is what we make it.
There's no fate but what we make for ourselves, is what you're saying.
Exactly, yes.
The last endo, you might be able to prompt ChatGPT in such a way to get it to be particular to actual biblical truths and actually be reasonably proficient in amateur profession. Yes, I agree. You could ask it, for example, if you ask it, you know, what would a person of this particular faith say about that, right? Like it will endeavor to find out what does that faith believe on this thing and give you, and you might be able to get an entry level apps, you know, information. Sure, ask like questions are if you're looking for a better way to do a Google search, I think that's really good. But where you're going to run into problems is if you ask any questions with real depth to them. I agree, or God forbid, pun intended, questions that are novel. So new questions, and then ChatGPT will likely hallucinate and start running you into stupid circles. I agree with that as well. I do believe that there are already attempts to just see what it would do when you would just tell ChatGPT to rewrite the Bible. Like just write the Bible, you know, with some sort of perspective or whatever angle you want to have, and that's out there. And again, my concern is always going to be for, here's the person who isn't the expert, as we've multiple times said, the layman, the person who is just, they've just got some basic questions and they turn to that, like Google, they turn to that to find a quick answer, and now their answer is skewed, right? And that is my biggest fear of that, because I don't want to have misinformation about the Bible out there, and ChatGPT will generate that. But yeah. So I think it would be unwise to use it in a regular sense. I think it's like neat as a novelty, and then as we see what happens in the future, it terrifies me, right? Like what's coming next. But for now, that's what I would say. Okay, a follow-up question. Protestants branched off because they claimed they have a better understanding of the Bible. Would you be surprised if there would be a Chat GPT branch of Christianity? I would not be surprised. I would
We already have
question.
Unitarians, so I'm not surprised at all.
We have what?
We already have Unitarians, so
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I
what
would not
surprised
be
me.
surprised. I would question the judgment, right? Like it's not going to actually. There's a lot of people who claim to be Christian, but don't actually look at the Bible as authoritative to begin with. They don't believe the Bible. They believe their own version or idea of what the Bible's about. And so they don't actually care what it has to say, and that fit them just fine. If they can get ChatGPT to tell them something that they like, it'll be there. It's gonna happen. So I agree, it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna add anything new to the table that, like Dave is mentioning, the Unitarians are already doing, where it's basically just, yeah, I just claim the title Christianity but believe whatever I want. Griggs is pointing out that AI has come a long way. Yeah, it's beating humans in Dota, and I mean the same theme that we've had in chess since like what, the 90s. Big Blue. You know, it made news when the computer beat the chess master, like the world chess master, and we really haven't slowed down. It just wasn't in the news cycle, right? So computers are getting smarter. We're gonna have more of this. The question is, you know, is there going to be any limits? I doubt it. I think we're going to be too slow to implement any limits at all. And then where does that take us? I think it's going to take us to a place that is not all that great for humans, right? Even if you have like the Wall-E version, and all of our needs are, you know, we're pampered and all of our needs are met, it's still not good for humans.
that's just its own special dystopia.
Yes, that's still dystopia.